So I live in coastal South Carolina, and here fishing is a big deal. And I want to tell you today that marketing is exactly like fishing. This is Tad Fulford with the Rise Up in Real Estate, and I want to show you a few things that are similar about fishing and about marketing. Dawned on me the other day when I started watching a video on how to throw a cast net. Those of you that haven't thrown a cast net, it is a work of art and science, and I'm trying to teach my 5-year-old how to do that. So I started thinking about it, and I started learning as I'm teaching that this is exactly how we should market for our business. There are things that you need to know when you're looking to market for your business that are exactly like when I'm ready to go on a fishing trip. So down here in coastal South Carolina, we can catch any kind of fish. We can go offshore to the Gulf Stream. We can go inshore to do redfish, flounder, trout. The list goes on and on. But the first thing you have to determine is, and same in marketing, is what kind of fish do you want to catch? So when I'm ready to go, got a block of time and want to go fishing, I got to decide, do I want to go surf fishing? Do I want to go offshore fishing? Do I want to go inshore fishing? You have to figure out what kind of fishing you want to do. What is your target catch? Marketing, you need to do the same thing. Do you really ever spend a lot of time defining what it is, number one, that you want to catch? What is your target? What is your avatar, people like to say now? What is your perfect customer or client? Have you spent time thinking about it? If you don't, it just doesn't make any sense. Like I would never go fishing not having a target audience, not knowing what I'm going to catch or what I'm trying to catch. It's the same with hunting. You need to know what your target is. Same with marketing. Number one, what is it that you want to catch? Number two, what bait will you need? Like, what do you need to take to the ocean for me? Like, what do I need to take to the waterway? What kind of bait is the fish going to bite? If I'm going to go fish in the surf, am I going to use live bait or cut bait? Am I going to use a weight, or am I going to do something on the top of the water? Well, you know what? It depends on what the target audience, what I'm looking to catch, is going to bite. So here you have in marketing and real estate business, if you have your avatar, what is it that will appeal to? What kind of bait can you use to attract your audience? Are you looking to do investors? Maybe you're sending out, your bait is documents that prove that your area is a nice one to invest in. Maybe you're doing first-time home buyers or people that are qualified for VA loans, and you're going to send documentation out that would appeal to that kind of buyer. The idea here is to be specific. If you're going to go fish for flounder, there's a very specific way, very specific bait that you'd be most successful at. So when you go fishing, you got to figure out what it is you want to catch with marketing as well, and what bait you're going to need. Third thing you need to figure out when you're fishing is, when in the world should you fish? Some fish don't bite at certain times of the year. Some fish don't bite at certain times of the tide for us. They don't bite when it's super cold or when it's super hot, right? You have to figure out what is the best time to go fishing. I'll use the example of flounder fishing. If I'm going to go flounder fishing, I'm going to usually go in the spring or the fall, and I'm going to go on the falling tide. That is the best time to catch flounder. But guess what? I have to know that I'm going to fish flounder, and I have to know what bait to use. I also have to know what time. It's the same with marketing and real estate. When do you try to appeal to your customer client base? Do you know when they're most active on your website? Do you know when they are most likely to answer their phone? Do you know what the best time it is to try and catch them? If you're doing first-time home buyers or young families, you probably don't want to call in the evenings during dinner time or when they're doing bath time. You probably want to figure out that timing better for all of your customers' clients. What is the best time to try to catch your fish? But guess what? If you don't know what it is you want to catch and you don't know what bait to use, it doesn't matter what time of day you fish. It all has to run together. The last thing that you need to know if you're going to be an effective fisherman is, what style of fishing should you use? There's a lot of things. Like if I'm going to go offshore for wahoo, I'm going to use a big bait. It's going to be not live. It's going to be tied to a large lure, and we're going to be trolling at about 8 knots. We're going to troll. We're going to drag that bait behind us. It's going to have a planer where it goes to a certain depth. It's very, very specific. Are you this specific when you do your real estate marketing? Do you know what style of marketing you need to use to appeal to your target audience? Like you have your bait, right? And you have the time you're going to do it, but what style works? Is it texting? Is it email? Is it video? Is it picking up the phone and calling? Is it doing client events? Is it having home buyer seminars? Is it having buyer or seller seminars? Is it sending out a newsletter? There are lots of different styles, but you better figure out the style that works for what your specific target audience. You need to know that, what kind of fish you're going to fish for. You need to know what bait you use, what time you should fish, and fourth, what is the style. If I'm going to fish for flounder, it's very different than fishing for wahoo. On a flounder, I'm going to rig up a Carolina rig. I'm going to hook a live, usually a mullet, finger mullet, to the hook with a Carolina rig with a weight and about a foot worth of monofilament. And I'm going to drag that along the bottom to try to entice that flounder. I have to do it at the right time. I have to use the right bait. I know that I'm going for a flounder, and I also have to know what time of year, when it is to fish. So if you're going to be an effective marketer in your business, I know this is silly, but when you go hunting or fishing or shopping or anything that you do, you prepare. You make a list. You figure out where you're going and when you're going and what you're going to do. You should also know these 4 things for your real estate marketing. What is the fish that you're trying to catch? What bait do you need to entice them? What time should you try to entice them? And then what style is most enticing to them? If you need help figuring these things out, give me a call. I'd love to talk about it. This is Tad Fulford with Rise Up in Real Estate, and I hope this video helps you rise up.